Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm doing another crafting video. This one is my Mickey Mouse ears that I make. So I've made a few in the past and I like to customize them to match the person or to match the event. The last ears that I made was for my trip with my mom to Disney World for Halloween, and I made myself these skull ears. Let's get to it. So the first thing you're going to have to do is find your fabric. Any fabric really will do. Cotton fabric, sequin fabric. When it gets kind of funky when it comes to the stretchy fabrics, like the costuming fabric. The mermaid one, I made some mermaid ears and they just run like a pair of pantyhose. But I usually find my fabric through JoAnn's, or at JoAnn's really. They always have those half-off bins with the scraps, so I always go there first, and this is actually where I found these two fabrics. So once you found your fabric, you go ahead and you end up with your ears. So I think what I'm going to do is in a future video, I'm going to actually take you through my sewing process. I already had these made, and it's because I batch made them months ago so I could do this project. Okay, so these are all done, ready to go. The next thing I need to do is pretty much tell you exactly what you need. Foam. I get this at Michael's. It's just, I think it's the 1-inch foam from Michael's. It's very hard to find. Trying to get the one that's flexible, not the one that has like the hard piece in the middle, if you know what I'm talking about. Next thing you need are headbands. I buy mine off of Amazon. I will link them below. You need ribbon of your choice. Just got this today, so I'm excited to use this Rotary Cutter. I'm gonna use it, but I usually trust the old scissors. And then foam bat, or the batting stuff. This is the stuff I get. Polyfill, if you can see it. It's the polyfill. I get this from JoAnn's. Pretty decent. I have 2 bags of it. It's lasted me. The big bag has lasted me forever. Glue gun, which mine is down here. And I'm gonna really try to find these for you. If not, I have seen people use jars, like the mason jars, the bottoms, a glass upside down, and just do like half of it. It's mainly to make sure you get a decent circle or a half circle. And then I grab my Sharpie that I have in my little sewing kit right here. And I'm just going to trace around. I'm just gonna go ahead and make sure these are not too crazy. We're gonna go ahead and do Donald. So this hole is not big enough. I need to cut it open a little bit, I think. So I'm gonna go ahead and, not too much, but just cut a bit of the fabric so I can stick these foam bits in here. I'll do the same for this one, so I don't have to do it again. Okay. So with this, it's kind of, it's like a little procedure to do. You roll this up, like you're rolling, I don't know what to say. You roll it up as much as you can, like a really bad looking burrito. And then this is the end that needs to go in. So you go ahead and grab your fabric, and then you kind of help it in and maneuver it in there. So there is one. We'll go ahead and get number 2 ready. The only issue with patterned fabric especially with a character like this on pattern fabric, is when you sit there and you put it on your headband, you gotta make sure that you're happy with how the character's standing and placed. I'm okay with that, actually. He looks pretty good, so I'm keeping these sides the way they are. We're gonna get our fluff. I like to pull it apart first. I'm sorry if you guys can hear my daughter crying. She's ready for bed, so we need to go put her to bed soon. And we go ahead and just start off little, because you can always add more. I do it on both sides so I can have, so I can kind of visualize how stuff is looking. So what you're gonna do next is you're gonna grab your excess fabric that matches your ears. And then, so I do a lot of eyeballing when it comes to this. Like I said, I'm not a professional sewer or anything like that. But I have it laid out. I have this cutting mat underneath everything, always laying down because I'm always gluing stuff. So I have let me move my camera. Okay, I have my headband. So what I do is I usually go from one end of the fabric. My fabric is down here. Can't see it, it's down here. And I grab it and I kind of just like play around. I always hook it over the end just a little bit, just to grab it on. And then I grab it around and I just look and visualize it. I'm gonna go ahead and cut probably, yeah, that's perfect. So you have your fabric, okay? First thing I do is I grab my glue gun, put a little glue on the end. I like to flatten it up a bit just so it's flat. Press it down my fabric, and then mosey on over to the other side and do the exact same thing. If you didn't see, let me try to move it this way. So I have my fabric, this is the end of my headband. I grab my glue gun and I'm just putting a little bit there because I'm just rubbing it in as well so it's not like a lump, so it's smooth. And then just pull this guy down and just try to flatten it out as much as you can. And so you trim as much as you can, or as much as you think you need. All right, so the next thing you're gonna do, I still need to cut it down, but if you can see, oh, it's hard to see here because it's all curved. You have this, you wanna bring it over to the side and just work your way around until you meet this end, and then you want to flip her around and do the same thing with this end. Whoa. All right, my technique with putting this glue on, you can't really see. I pretty much just glide it along. Hopefully you can see this. Just a little bit at a time. And then I grab my fabric and just lay it over and flatten it with my thumb. Be careful, hot glue is hot. So just keep that in mind. I'm gonna trim this up a little bit. looking pretty good. Looking like we might be a pair of ears soon. You grab these guys, and like this might be hard to see, but you can I'll move it out so you can see as much as you can. You can grab a pen for this if it's helpful to you as well. You guys know what this is. It's one of these blue, looks like a coloring pencil, but you get it in sewing kits. They come in white as well, or you can buy one at the store. First, I figure out which side. This is pattern, so do I want Grumpy Donald on the front, or do I want Excited or Shocked Donald? So what you do is you go ahead and you place them on your ear, your headband. And this is a big old visual thing. I think you want to be able to place a bow in between as well. So you want to make sure they're not too far or too high up together. And it looks weird. So I just gotta mess around with it. I usually line this guy up with my bottom and line the bottom of my headband, the bottom of this paper, just so it's like, I think it's like maybe an inch. Oh, that's like 2 inches, I'd say, because you're gonna have, when you wear them, they're gonna pop up a bit too. So I'm cool with this. I think a bow will fit nicely. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and draw a line for this and a line for this guy. So you can see the lines. Well, there's one there. Now you can see it. And then you have to close these guys up. So what I do is there's the the foam. So I go ahead and just glue it down and then wrap these guys over as neatly as I can. So what I'd like to do is how you fold the flaps over. So this one's the front is flapped over this way. I'd like to put that at the front of the ear. So if it is messed up at the back at least, so you don't have that on the front. Pump a line of glue, and then you're gonna line it up in the center of your ear. Angry Donald on. And then you want to hold it tight, squeeze it down, let the glue absorb in the fabric. Press it firmly. Do the same with the other side. Oh, look at that, guys. Grumpy Donald. All right, your next thing to do is make a bow. So what you're gonna do with the bow, there's plenty of ways to do it. I guess I should just probably cut most of this off. This is probably going to be a good length for the bow, well, a rectangle, and it probably should be at least even, as much as you can make it even. So then what you're going to do is you're going to fold up and you're going to fold down, and then what you're going to do is I like to do like a sandwich in on either side a little bit, and then I like to fold in once again. So it's going to be difficult to do so be patient. It's annoying. Go fold in it again. So you have like a pouch or another rectangle. You just made it smaller. So then what you do is you push down and you squeeze together. You're making the bow. You see that? You pinch it in the middle and boom, bam, you got a bow. It's actually not a bad one. I always look at the bows on before, just so I can get an idea of how they look and play with them a little bit if I like the fabric. This is not how it looks, but I mean, I like the color. I can always mess around with the fabric itself to make sure it sits nicely. I have this thing. I like my bows to look not like the ones at the park. So we'll play with this guy a little bit because he's not sitting nicely. All right. Now your option is, it's up to you. If you can do this and keep it together in your bow shape, good for you. So what I usually do is I grab some thread from my sewing machine, and then what I do is I just tie it with a bit of thread to keep it together while I work on getting it on the actual headband itself. Do your best. There you go. It doesn't have to be tight. If you pull too tight, the thread will break. But I have it just for the general shape. And again, I'm going to mess with it because I'm not happy with how she looks. So the next thing you want to do is get a small strip of fabric, because you want it to be the center of your bow. Again, I don't measure, and I probably should, but make it big enough so you can at least fold it in half or fold it in thirds. And like I said, you can always make it smaller. You can't make it bigger. Do it this way. This looks like a good way. It's like a good size. And I just put it on the bow just to get the idea. My thing, what I normally do is I put the bow on first and then I seal the bottom of it. It's the front, so I'm going to go ahead and put my bow on, position it. So this thing goes on top and around. You see, that's the back, around your bow, around your headband. And then you can play with this guy as well, fluff her out. You want it to stay put. She doesn't look too bad. Looks pretty good. I mean, you can fix the bow, obviously. All right, so then what you do is you're going to hot glue underneath. And you try to make it thin. Don't want to make it too, because remember, it's going on your head. You want to make it comfortable for yourself still, so. There it is. Let's finish her off. Do I want to do green? Green. Do I want to do blue or yellow? I think I'm going with blue. And what I do is, this is my awesome way of measuring, is I just put it on the inside of my headband. I could probably measure my headband, but I don't. All right, so make sure you got a little extra. It's okay. Like I said, you can always take some off. You can't add it. So I start from one end, if you guys can see this. A little dab. Same like when you're putting the actual fabric on. You want to get it as straight as you can right at the end. That's what starts it off. Okay. I'm going to flip it that way and just kind of let it ride down. These ears could be like 28 times better, but I'm not going to complain too much because I haven't done this in a long time. All right, guys, here's your finished project, or here's your finished product. Beautiful pair of homemade Minnie Mouse ears for you. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. I hope it was helpful. I hope it was clear enough for you guys to actually do this yourself. Go ahead, go forth, make all of the ears you want. Again, thanks very much. Give us a thumbs up if you like it. Go ahead and comment below when you're going to Disney next and what kind of ears you're making. And then also go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I don't just do crafts. I am a mom. I do mom stuff as well on here, so it's going to be a lot of random stuff. So I hope y'all like random. Again, thank you very much for watching my channel, and I'll talk to you guys later.